Hey, I wanted to show you guys the back 4 issues of Construction Papers and see if you'd like to subscribe. So the first issue we did on making, or I guess I did, it's just me, making in general. In here we've got how to crochet a granny square. We've got some ideas of what to do with your granny squares and some pretty silly illustrations. There's, make a giant granny square that can cover your whole house. There's how to tie the perfect ribbon. Let me get this back in focus. There we go. So tying the perfect ribbon without any extra tails. It's really great. There's how to knit a bramble swatch. And there's chart and written out directions because everybody's different. There's a little bit about you can put your swatches here, since there's a granny square and a bramble swatch. Recipe for a gingery syrup. Ginger and cardamom, it's really good. Good in sparkly water or in a drink with bourbon. And a coloring page. And this issue included some origami because we must have missed it in there somewhere. I skipped a page. Yes, I did, because there's an origami bird tutorial. So that was issue 1. Issue 2 was dinosaurs. So rawr. Issue 2 had how to make an egg bath bomb with a little plastic dinosaur inside, so that when you dissolve the bath bomb, you've got the dinosaur. There's how to crochet an amigurumi pteranodon. Well, illustration there of the pteranodon. And he says, once you have tasted flight, you will forever walk the earth with your eyes turned skyward. There's a Dino word search and a coloring page that Mercedes Tarasovich drew for us. Bit of tutorial on embroidery stitches, and then a little dinosaur to embroider, and instructions on how to do that. Little ideas about where to put this dinosaur. And there's a pattern here for a little fabric dinosaur and instructions for making him. And this issue included a needle and some embroidery floss to do the embroidery stitches. That was issue 2. Issue 3 was for February, and it was about mending and reusing. So there was instructions for making a little pocket gratitude journal, or you could use it instead of gratitude things, you could use it for keeping track of like your transactions or your grocery lists, things like that. So it's a single sheet of legal paper made into a journal, little instructions for sewing it. Instructions for mending, so mending your socks with the duplicate stitch method or the weaving method. Socks, sweaters, anything knitted really. How to make a Russian compote. So it's basically fruit juice made from dried fruit. It's really good. And how to crochet a decorative patch, which I have made multiples of and put on shirts that have lost some elbow integrity. There's instructions on how to make a t-shirt yarn, and then ways to use your t-shirt yarn. There is how to crochet a pot scrubber using plastic, like produce mesh, so like the bags that produce comes in when you buy 5 pounds of apples or something. And then there's a little note about February being International Correspondence Writing Month, so there's some lovely calligraphy that you could transfer onto a card. And the stuff that was included in this issue was a little postcard that you could decorate either with that thank you or with anything else, and some waxed linen thread to be able to do the bookbinding. That was issue 3. And then issue 4 went out, it actually went out in August even though it was July issue, but it was about getting organized and using your craft supplies to be organized and get organized, and how to also organizing your craft supplies. So there was a bit about how to keep your ribbon spools tidy. There's ways to organize with binder clips. So there's a bunch of different ways, and then a little section here about personalizing your binder clips with like washi tape or nail polish, that sort of thing. Using them to organize things in a sequence with letters or numbers. There's a tutorial for making origami pockets that will hold little things like stitch markers or buttons, or a small sewing kit. There's a note about single-handed string ties, which I use to tie cords together, things like that. And there's a section on different ways to use washi tape to stay organized. A little note about to-do lists and making effective to-do lists. And then how to get organized with a receipt folder. And then these are little cutout tabs that you can put onto binder clips to make them into index tabs. So this issue included this fold-out template for the receipt folder, which, let's see if I can see, it's got all the tabs there, and then a reinforcement piece. So that's all in there, and a bunch of washi tape to play with. So that's what we've done so far for construction papers, and I hope that you will subscribe and join us for the future. I'm really excited about what's coming up. Thanks.